We're live.
Call to order. Time is 7:19 p.m. Wednesday, July 13th, 2022. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance using the flag in the front of the room.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Here.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Here.
Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right. Number 4, additions, deletions, and withdrawals to the agenda.
Yes, I would like to move 11.6 through 10 to 4.1.
Hodgkin?
11.6 to 11.10.
To 11.10?
Uh-huh.
Huh? You want to move what to what?
Move 11.6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 4.1, I guess you would call it.
11.6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to what?
The next.
Delete them? Remove them?
No, I want to move them. I would like to move them.
Move them to where?
4.1 or 5.1.
Presentations is where he wants
5.1. Do they fall under presentations?
Falls under, well, it can go under both. It could probably be presentations or proclamations. It could be, like to call it, I guess.
Proclamations are something that we give out from the commission. Presentations are usually things presented by companies that come in regarding,
Well, where do you suggest I put it, sir? Or should I leave it where it is?
well, is it new business or?
No, it's basically on old business.
Okay, it's all listed on new business. Are these workshop items or are these commission meeting items?
This is a commission meeting item.
Okay. You know what? I'll move them up here for you. We're going to move 11.6, 11.7, 11.8, 11.9, and 11.10 to 4. So that will become 4.1 through 2, 3, 4. 1 through 4 through 4.1 and 4.4.
Marlon, weren't you discussing this with Commissioner prior to the meeting, and he said he wanted to put them under presentations?
Yeah,
That's the suggestion?
well, the additions, deletions, and withdrawals, that's the area where he's able
Or,
to make the changes.
I'm sorry, under 5. He wants it under 5.
Yeah, right.
So it'd be 5.1. Go change it. Hold on 1 second. Let me tell you what it will be. Strike 11.5, 11.6, 11.7, 11.8, and 11.9, and, oh, sorry, 11.6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and make these 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, and 5.5. And 5.5. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I believe he also you wanted to move some things out of consent, sir, or no?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else? Do you have anything else, Ray?
JC is HR director on it?
It is. saw it on here earlier. Yeah, I don't see it on mine. I read it earlier, though, on here. Old business, hold on here. Let me make that, does it fall under resolution? Okay, then let's just put it under new business as, 11.6. Marlon, 11.6 will be HR director.
Okay.
I saw it on there when I was reading it, so.
I did too, but what I did with it.
All right. Anything else? Greg? Anything else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
And to accept the agenda with the added changes?
Second.
Discussion? None. Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Right. 5.1. Presentations. 5.1. The clarification cost video, Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. There was a question asked of the mayor recently at a previous meeting about the original estimates on the cost of the police department, which was $1.5 million to $2 million. And it seemed like nobody seemed to know where it came from. And if you show the video, it will show you where it came from.
Are we going to watch the whole commission meeting?
Oh. All right.
11E, discussion professional services for police department. Clerk Commissioner Jacobs.
Yeah, we have the three quotes, they're all in your backup, and I'm just trying to move ahead so we get this done. I wanna go with, David Howard, I think he's got the best quote, and, it will, we should have this all together within about 90 days.
All right, so I'm gonna entertain two motions here. The first motion is, your recommendation is David Howard, you have the three quotes. Chris, does it meet all the requirements to move it forward?
Yeah, it does. You have three quotes, they're about 25,000.
So I will entertain a motion to hire David Howard as the police consultant for the town.
Do I need to?
Howard is talking and I can't hear him. Unmute.
I was trying to help Jeff, just say motion made. I was trying to help Jeff, just say motion made, that's your baby. Motion made.
And who's got a second?
There we go, second.
Okay, roll call.
Excuse me, but there really to be more descriptive, just say motion to retain the services. of
All right,
David Howard.
motion to retain services of David Howard for the police department.
Yeah, and an amount not to exceed 24,000.
And, yeah, it's amount not to exceed 24,000. Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Vice Mayor Clark.
budget, we were budgeted 40,000.
Okay. Yes. Commissioner DeVille?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes. So the second motion that I will entertain is that we move forward. Because after my conversation today with, Mr. Daughtry, there was never any direction given that we are looking to move forward on starting our own police department. And so, I'm not quite sure, where there was a misunderstanding. What happened?
We've had this discussion before Agatha was here, during, after. This discussion's been on here since last summer. So we've had this over and over again. So I guess I'll make a motion that we proceed forward with starting our own department. Second.
Is there any discussion?
The own police department, right? So the own police department, yes. There's second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Vice Mayor Clark. Commissioner Cohen?
Well, the only thing I would like to see that, I'd like to see what this guy has to say, to see if we're gonna be able to do that. You know what I mean? To,
You wanna know the kind of
yeah,
positions we're looking at?
tell me.
Okay, right now, we're looking at our budget for the police department, we're paying $3.5 million a year for police services.
Right.
Bringing it in-house with 16, a staff of 16, we're looking at a budget of about 1.7 to 2 million a year, which saves this town $1.5 million a year, and actually gives us officers who are in our town all the time, 24/7. They're not gonna be in West Park, they're not gonna be in Miami Gardens, they're not gonna be in Miramar, they're not gonna be anywhere else other than here. They're for our town and specifically only our town.
Okay, what about insurance, Jeffrey, and all that? Is that all?
We're looking at a total budget under $2 million for our own department. It's $1.5 million less than what we're paying Broward right now. So
Okay.
that's everything. That's what we're looking at.
You
So
cut it now.
We're gonna keep it under. It's not going to cost more. It's gonna be $1.5 million less. If we look at, Mayor, what's our ad valorem?
So as you can see, that it is not quite going to be $1.5 million or $2 million. We had a previous director here of finance who came up with a figure of around $3.8 to $4.2 million. We've had a consultant that we paid $48,000 to do a study on it. They came up with a little higher figure, around $5 million. But Interim Chief Howard also has come up with his budget, which you will see this evening, of 3.8, I believe it is, David? 3.6, and I think that's all in line. I think that probably would work for us. So we need a police department. Our crime rates are very high. So the other issue, moving on to the next issue.
Wait a second.
Yes,
Are you moving to another number, to 5.2?
yes.
Okay, we're not done with 5.1 yet. What was the point of it?
What was the point? The point was that the gaping disparity in the cost has been at issue for more than a year now, and it seems that all this conflict that we've had in the town has all been over the cost. Never been an issue about who or when or anything like that. It's all been about the cost. Had the cost been a realistic price, we probably could have gone. They probably could have voted on it back then and actually had it up and running by now. Who knows, right? So I just think that it would be possible that we can stop all the squabbling within the town and get this thing done.
Okay, well, you brought this up, so I got questions for you.
Okay.
Where'd that info come from?
What info?
Info of the original cost.
You spouted it out right there at the meeting.
Where did I get that info from?
I have no idea. You said you studied it for a year and a half or something like that.
Okay, so that info, first I'll start with a little clarification for everybody, so everyone is aware who's up on that video. That is the former mayor, Ashura Mohammed, the former vice mayor, Howard Clark, the former vice mayor as she moved up to that position. And we got Commissioner Duvall and myself. In the background speaking, who you don't hear, is our town attorney. His name was Chris Ryan. So all those people were commissioners at the time. For clarification purposes, the info I read on here, I was provided to them by staff. Do you know how it works around here? Do we just come up and throw anything out, or how do we get our info?
Well, you usually study it somehow, from what I've seen. Usually hire professionals from what I've seen recently.
Okay, so
But I didn't see any consultant report from the previous.
guess I'm going to have to educate you a little bit on government here. So, in the way it works here in the town of Pembroke Park, staff brings forward information to you. You present it to the commission, and we discuss it. So back in 2011, we had an employee here named Todd Larson, and the manager at the time, JC, that wasn't Noel Daltrey.
Oh, Bob Vitas.
Bob Vitas was his name. They put this report together for the police department, stating that it would cost for 16 officers, 1.6 million, or yeah, 1.7 million to approximately 2 million for 16 officers, that we need a department for all of this. There was also a report done up north in Tallahassee with this. So this went around a lot. It was presented to me, and that's why I brought it forward. So this was the information presented by town staff. That's how it works here. Staff gives us the information and we present it. So this was the information that was provided to me by town staff.
They didn't hire a consultant or anything.
Did you watch the video? What was the video about?
Wasn't about anybody being a consultant.
Did you miss the part that we hired a consultant in the video?
Maybe David,
Yeah, in the video, we hired a consultant.
at that meeting.
Yes,
But
at that
you-
meeting,
but
we
you
hired
are-
a consultant.
But you had already given the figures out there at that point in time.
That is very true. I gave the figures forward that was presented to me by the town staff. The town staff had already put it together in and it come back to 2011 that they put this together. Town staff presented that information to me, who I passed that information back along to Chief Howard. That's where the information came from. At that point is when we hired the consultant to go forward, as you saw in the video. So that was the best information that we had at the time presented by staff. So I'm asking again, well, what was the point of it?
Point was to show that the figures that were that were put out there were so inaccurate, and everybody was trying to live up to those figures, and it just couldn't happen because it was impossible for it to happen because they were 100% off.
Okay, so going forward to clarify a few things, the consultant was a budget item. Proper procedure was followed to move forward to hire the consultant, and we also made a secondary vote to move forward on starting our own police department. So, our PD, Chief Howard, put together $3.6 million for a police department for Pembroke Park. The consultant, what was their $5 million on? What was that for?
Under 5 million, but I believe it was. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe it was for the same people, same amount. A few more officers, I believe, was on that report.
Okay, so I'll be more specific and I'll clarify for you since you don't seem to remember. It was a figure of around $4.7 million. And that was enough officers for District 1, which is Pembroke Park and West Park combined.
I understand, but they were based on the
But-
crime rates, right?
But you're not stating that. You didn't state that. This is about Pembroke Park. The consultant came in about Pembroke Park and West Park.
Yes.
That's completely different than Pembroke Park. So the
Yes.
number was 4.7 million because it combined the two cities, not one. They did they consulted and they stated they could not do just Pembroke Park. They
Yes, I was here.
did
yeah.
District 1 at 4.7 million. So you just brought that forward as it being 4.7 or $5 million from the consultant, but that's false. That's very false and inaccurate.
It was
because
4.7.
Okay, 4.7 million for District 1. That's for Pembroke Park and West Park. We have nothing to do with West Park.
I believe that they stated that the reason they couldn't break it out, but they did state the reason, but they said that, they also stated that the thing was, the crime stats were Pembroke Parks, and the officers and the amount of officers was for Pembroke Park. It was not for the whole district.
Actually, they stated it was for District 1 because they couldn't separate Pembroke Park out of it.
All right,
Go
guys,
back-
can we move on? This
Yeah,
is
hold
not
on.
a
You can
workshop,
go
man.
back-
We gotta
Go back
go.
and read this, but this is a workshop item, not a commission meeting item.
Okay.
Future reference,
That's
we'll
fine.
go with that.
Yep.
So, all right, so it is what it is. Now we'll move on to 5.2, consultant report on police department.
Basically,
Commissioner Hodgkins.
that basically combined the two of them right there after we just got through discussing it.
Okay. 5.2 is complete. Again, that's a workshop item.
Right.
5.3.
5.3 was something to consider. I thought that from your previous statements up here on the thing, that the job of being a mayor was sucking the life out of you, that your 24/7-hour job, you never get, that you're getting called out in the middle of the night for fire alarms or whatever, and it's too stressful for you. And I was just going to suggest that possibly you would like to take a couple of weeks off and maybe regroup, and maybe we wouldn't be putting people under so much stress here in the town. I know a lot of stress here in the town is coming from the head of the commission here, so. Just an offer, just an offer.
No, I'm fine. We can proceed forward. I do not need a break from the town. I've been here 3.5 years. In March, we'll have our election.
Well, people
Your
under
resident,
a lot of stress make bad decisions.
Okay, we'll go with that. But remember, what I do for my career, people's lives are in my hand every time I leave for work and come home. So I'm very safe, and I don't put myself in unsafe situations. If I need a break, I take a break. My health is far better than most. So we'll go forward.
Yeah.
5.4,
Okay.
taxes. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
I was asked by several residents how we would pay for the extra for the police department. I didn't have an answer from how we were going to pay for it. And I believe that at a meeting you said we weren't going to raise taxes, so exactly, maybe the people would like to know how we are going to pay for it.
That's easy. So, doing a lot of research on the town and digging back, the town actually has not had a finance director, a municipal finance director, in many, 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 many years. They've had accountants upstairs, but never someone who was a municipal finance director. From what I gathered, the last person who was running our finance department was Dr. Levy, which was the town manager, and they had a accountant in place, but the town manager ran the finance department. So have you read this by any chance?
Which one?
This is the Owell Wingo report?
I did.
Okay. You want to bring up anything out of the finance in here?
Nope.
Okay. So several things. We need a real finance director in here. That's part of what they suggested. We need someone to get our finances in check. I met with JC the other day. JC has been dealing with our accountants that we have, and the town's a lot better off than we believed. That's what he was told and informed. That's the information I have as well. So
Good news.
we're going to find out where we're at. But we are doing some things to correct the problems around town. Like down the road, we're going to be going forward with removing the fire fee out of our ad valorem tax, because currently there are 3 municipalities in Broward County whose ad valorem tax is at the highest. Do you know what the ad valorem tax is?
Exactly how it's worked out.
Okay, so our tax rate, there's 3, you can go up to 10%. There are 3 municipalities sitting at 8.5% right now. Us and West Park are 2 of them. The majority of our taxes, over 100% right now, go to police and fire, which isn't correct. It needs to be a lot lower than that. But our fire fee is mixed into our ad valorem tax. We had this discussion a few weeks ago. Pulling out our fire fee lowers our ad valorem tax rate. And the reason we don't have a fire fee is because inconsistent billing across the town with certain places don't pay certain things. And this was all manipulated by past commissioners. So our taxes isn't fair across the board. So we've discovered over the last year and a half, sewers are covered by the town in private mobile home parks, which needs to be corrected. It's a project that we're gonna have to work on, and it's gonna take a while to come up with a solution. Same with the fire fee. People don't pay their fair share around here. So this equalizes it across the board. It also brings our ad valorem tax rate down. So we're not sitting at that 8.5%. My goal is to get it down, pull the fire fee out, that way it fires across the board. All three of our taxes are gonna go up, because now we're gonna be paying a fire fee along too. But it equals it across the board the way it should be done, and should have been done a long time ago. So we're still correcting all the problems of the past with this town, that being one of the major things. But I talked to the manager Monday, we had a big discussion about bringing this back forward again and getting it approved. So next year, everything's in place and we can adjust our ad valorem tax to where it needs to be. But my goal is still to bring down our tax rate. I am not one to raise taxes. I'm one to work within our means and make things happen. So
By bringing down that ad valorem tax, that will help us pay for the police department.
that, pulling out the fire fee brings it level. Once we get our finances in order around here, that will help us determine.
So
what
it's
our
the
tax
fire
rate is.
fee that's telling us.
The fire fee right now is mixed into the ad valorem, which raises our ad valorem tax up to 8.5%, which is extremely high.
All right, thank you.
Because a lot of municipalities have a fire fee and ad valorem tax both. Most municipalities have both, but their ad valorem tax is a much lower rate. Marlon, you don't happen to have that copy of what all the ad valorem tax for Broward County is, do you?
No, I'm sorry, sir. I could look and see.
I had it at one point for us. If you get a chance, could you just email that to the commission so they could see where we sit among the other municipalities in Broward County? So that's where we're at there.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Next,
Uh,
5.5,
Uh-huh.
democratic systematic choice, Clerk Commissioner Hotchkins.
Yes, I titled this Democracy because the point was that since I've been here in the town, I'm new to politics. Since I've been here in the town, I see a very, very well-defined system of democracy. I see people chosen, I see people interviewed, I see people vetted to the extreme sometimes, but it still comes up to a vote, a fair democratic vote, and that's the way it should be as far as I'm concerned. I think we all would agree with that democracy is important. The only position so far, what we need to do is to fill a police chief's situation. We're going to have a police chief. Interim chief has been doing an excellent job, and I'm sure he would be top of the list, but we still need to have that democratic idea of choice, where we get a choice of who we're going to pick. And you may find a more qualified candidate, you may not. But we should at least make the effort to try and put it out there for a vote to find somebody, to get a couple more applicants so that we can have that democratic choice. What say ye?
Okay. He's also, just for clarification, he's the one the commission put forward as the interim police chief.
Yes, I
to
know.
finish building the police department. Again, that would be a workshop item, not a commission meeting item. So down the road, we will discuss that at a later time. Do you have any questions?
No?
No? Okay. Now we'll move forward. Let me get back in numbers here. Number 6, public comment. Items related to the agenda and good and welfare.
We have 3 individuals that are coming up. David Roach. Give me one.
Welcome.
David Roach from the
had a difficult time holding my tongue at the last workshop with the way you treated the consultant on the police department. You hired a former police officer, an expert on creating police departments, and a company that presented facts on how to create a workable police department, and you literally ignored all her suggestions. During her research, and after she presented you with a copy of her original report, you were told if you have any corrections, any comments, or any deletions, please call her or text her or Zoom her so she could correct her presentation before the workshop. But no, it's more fun for the mayor to create a 16-page report of CPSM staffing and cost report printed and distributed to the attendees of the workshop so you can have a TV audience instead of just talking to her professionally. She's the expert. She and her company are nationwide, have helped to create a multitude of successful police departments. But no, you turned a deaf ear to her suggestions. She did not say what she wanted to hear, so you tuned her out. We needed 30 police officers, not 24, like we are scheduled to have for a safe city. It's going to cost us $3.7 million a year, not the 3.4 we are paying DSO. For more coverage, more officers, more detectives, and definitely more safety in the town of Pembroke Park. It's been 2 years, a huge amount of money, and we still don't have a police department. We are paying future police officers to drive police cars home each day until February. They are not allowed to officially work until February, and yet I'm sure they're getting paid for 9 months. And we talk about taxes and charging people. Admit your mistakes. Give up on this ridiculous dream and truly represent the citizens that elected you. Stop wasting taxpayer and Pembroke Park residents' money. No Pembroke Park Police Department. Thank you.
Actually, Mr. Roach, hang out up there. I got some questions for you tonight.
Certainly.
That report that you have in your hand, where'd that come from?
I don't know. Somebody handed it to me at the last workshop.
I made sure you got a copy of that report. That report was actually put together by our police department,
And I'm
using
sure
the
you had
consultant's
I'm
information.
sure you had no say in the matter.
I did
I'm
not.
sure you did no research on the matter, because I remember at that workshop, you were the one who said to the consultant, excuse me, I have all these research, I have done all this, and on page 1, item 1, page 2, item 2, you had it all down. So I'm sure.
Mr. Roach, hold on for a second.
The police department may have had some input into it.
Mr.
but
Roach.
I'm sure that you were the one who made the presentation.
Calm down and just listen. I have some questions for you.
Absolutely.
I had nothing to do with putting that presentation together. That was the entire police department that put it together, right here. I had nothing to do with that. What I did is I went through and corrected the report that was submitted by the doctor, the expert, as you so call. Apparently with the same degrees or similar degrees and the years I have in law enforcement, I'm not considered an expert by you, which I get, that's fine. But I'm looking at putting a civilian position like yours with BSO together for the town of Pembroke Park. So I have some questions for you. How often do you go out and patrol the communities?
I do it about once a week,
Once a week,
working for the COP program, Citizens on Patrol.
okay? The Citizens on Patrol, that's exactly what the name I was looking for. So where do you go out to when you go out?
We go through Pembroke Park, and we also go through West Park.
Do you go all through Pembroke Park and West Park with the
Yes,
car?
sir.
Okay. All right. I was just curious because I don't think I've ever seen that vehicle leave Dale Village, and I know for a fact the one that's in Park
You've never
Lake
seen the vehicle in Dale Village, my vehicle?
never leave Dale Village. I've never seen it leave Dale Village. I've never seen it out on the road around here. So I was just
Well,
curious about
obviously
that.
you're not looking very hard.
I'm out a lot, but I just wanted to ask you. So,
We only do it for an hour a day, once a week, my wife and I.
okay, an hour a day, once a week is all you go out? All right.
sir.
Is there any compensation for the position? No, I'm asking, is there any compensation for the position? Is it compensated?
No.
So it's all free?
Volunteer. My wife and I have been doing it for 40 years.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. So an hour once a week, you go out and patrol with that vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a car sitting there for an entire week, only used 1 hour a week, that's,
Yes, sir, because it is a car that has been retired from the regular use because of overuse by the police department of BSO. So therefore, we get the retired cars.
okay. Just curious. I want to know how it worked, so I was asking
Now
you.
you know.
You've been doing it for 40 years,
Yes,
so
sir.
I wanted to know the information on it. That's all I have for you. Thank you for your time. Who's next?
The next person is Eric Merced.
I'm sorry, Eric.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Eric Morissette. I've been to several meetings here, and we've been talking back and forth about how to finance the police department. This is not against or pro or against the police department. It's just like, how are we going to finance that? Is it going to be put onto the mobile home owners tax and then passed on to our rent, and also with the sewers? How is all these taxation, or how are we going to pay for this? Because I know a lot of people that cannot take $100 increase in their rent. They simply don't have the money. So I would like to have a kind of like a more detailed understand how this works.
Okay, I'll take the time and answer your questions. Normally I wouldn't, but today I will. What do we pay BSO right now? You've been
Well-
attending the meetings, we've been discussing this for a long time.
Yeah, 3.6 million, right?
It's 3.4 something, but it goes up 5% every single year.
Yeah, so what will ours, right?
And ours will not go up 5% every single year. We don't have that built in. Ours will go up every year, but not at an automatic 5% every year. That's contracted into BSO's contract. So,
But let me ask you, isn't it that the salaries for the officers is going to be regulated with 5% every year?
no, they will go, the employees for the town's salaries go up every year as well. There's
Yeah, I
a cost of
understand that.
living increase, there's, across the board, this town has a COLA and has pay adjustments every single year. So we have that every single year. There's nothing that's changed with all of that. So without paying BSO the 3.4 million per year, that rolls right over to our police department, in-house to our own department. So that doesn't change our taxes whatsoever. In fact, I'm working on getting a finance director in our town, an actual finance director, to straighten up our finances and get our finances in check. So we will, like we just found out, we're better off than we believed. So we haven't had an actual finance director in here for a long time. So we're trying to straighten up the town's finances. We could be better off, and when we pull out that fire fee, be able to lower our ad valorem tax a little lower. It just depends. So taxes come down, that means we pay less. Although the mobile home park owners, chances are they're not going to lower our rates. They keep going up and up and up every single year.
Yeah, I understand that, but I also understand that if new taxes or fees are placed on the mobile home owners, they're going to pass it on to the renters. That's how it
So,
works.
I will tell you, because I have the same issue as you do, because I also live in a
Yeah, we're in the
home
same boat.
community. I believe the owners pass our tax, they come up with this rate every single year. They actually send a letter out around September every single year that says their new taxes, their new expenses are this, their taxes are going up to this, and then your new rate will be this. But they also state every single year that the town of Pembroke Park is raising their taxes, and it's projected to be this. I always see that in the letter. But I know we have not raised the taxes in Pembroke Park since 2015. That was the last time the taxes went up here in this town. So I keep seeing the same letters you do, different format, different company, but the same thing. So they estimate it what it's gonna be, and they raise our taxes on a prediction that they believe it is, and that never happens because we have not raised our taxes. And that we should all be taking to our mobile home communities and property owners and saying, this was never raised. Why are you trying to raise our rates on something you're predicting that didn't happen? So I think that's something that we can address together with the mobile home owners outside of town hall.
I'm prepared to that.
I I am too, so,
Looking forward to it.
okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Who's next?
The next person is Larry Bernard, Senior.
Mr. Bernard? Welcome.
Welcome. Good evening. My name is Larry Bernard Sr. I'm the director for Kingdom Life Community Services, a nonprofit here in Pembroke Park. We partner with the Pembroke Park Church of Christ. I'm here with the minister of Pembroke Park Church of Christ, Minister Douglas Perry, and his wife, Ms. Barbara Perry. And we're here just to say a word of support for the police department. We've always enjoyed a good working relationship with BSO for many years. We've been at that location since 1995. And we've always had a good working relationship. I was not aware at the time that Pembroke Park had their own police department. We started a summer camp this year there at our location. And so at the beginning of that, we all know what happened with the children in Uvalde, Texas. And we were getting ready to start our summer camp, and so security was a heightened concern. So I reached out to Chief Howard just to see if we could just, he could send officers by, on their daily route. They could come by and get a bottle of water, and the chief was very gracious to us. He has had a vehicle parked at our location so it would have some visibility. And I really want to thank them for helping with the kids. They came out a week or so ago, a couple of the officers, and they did a presentation to the kids. They took them out to the police car, so it was very encouraging. So I don't know about all this other stuff. All I know is I appreciate Chief and all the officers that are doing the work, trying to.
That's what community-based policing is all about, inclusion in the community and doing exactly what they did. By the way, I shared that post. They post online about that, so that was great. All right. We met this weekend as he came out and helped us with our food drive, which thank you for your time. And also thank you for keeping your facility up. I've driven by your place, I don't know, at least 10 times in the last 3 days. It looks great over there. So
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, sir.
That was the last speaker.
No more speakers? Okay.
No more speakers.
All right. We'll close public comment. Hey, you?
Yes.
Okay, number 7, consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Discussion? Any discussion?
Are you gonna go down one at a time, sir?
No, we just approved the whole thing. Is there an issue?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come forward, please.
On 7.2, we I failed to put in the cost of the admin car. I need to bump that up 22,000 on the. I think it's 355. I need to add 22,000 to it.
Oh, is that the one that doesn't have the item on it?
Right.
Okay.
I apologize.
This one, David?
Do you want to
Yep.
pull this and add it, or do you want to just leave it on the consent?
What is the change you're doing?
It's just changing the
I didn't
dollar
put a
amount on it.
figure in for the admin car, $22,000. I just need to add the 22,000. Thank you.
Excuse me. Okay. All right, well, we'll just have, no, I got water. We'll have the record reflect the $22,000 change for the admin car. I guess that's under discussion, so roll call?
Motion to approve consent agenda by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille? Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay. The 8.1, resolution for the millage rate, and to set the budget hearing dates, Town Manager Jimenez.
Yes,
Resolution 2022-009. Town Attorney, can you read it by title?
A resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Pines, Florida, adopting a tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2022-2023 and providing an effective date.
Town Manager?
just for the public, we're keeping the millage rate at 8.5. That's our proposal. This year, property values did go up, a little over 8%. So we're keeping the rate, revenues will go up, so.
Entertain a motion?
I second.
Resolution 2022-009. Discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille? Motion passes 3-0.
Point 2, Finance Director, Town Manager Jimenez, Resolution 2022-008. Town Attorney, if you could read it by title.
Resolution number 2022-008, resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, appointing person to be named as Finance and Budget Director for the Town of Pembroke Park, superseding conflicting resolutions and providing an effective date. Town manager informed me that there was an issue with, I guess some emails going back and forth for texts, regarding this item between the commissioners. One text, I guess it was an inadvertent text between the commissioners. So what I need each of you to do as you vote on this item is to confirm that you're basing your decision on the public discussion you're having today, not on any text you might have received from another commissioner out of the sunshine. So I'll remind you of that as you come up to vote, as your vote comes up.
Okay. We need to have discussion regarding the salary because that was never addressed at the last meeting. So before we go forward with this resolution, we need to address how we're going to proceed forward.
Well, I spoke with candidate Mr. Roy Brown, and $118,000 was offered, and that's what he's requesting. He has, previous job, he wasn't making much less than that, and he does not want to take a pay cut to come here and assume the position of a director. I believe all of you have spoken to him at this point, so it's a commission decision.
I'll be the first to speak here. So that $118,000 that was presented to him was not presented to him under the commission's authority. It was presented to him by our HR contractor at the time, Logum HR. So the commission did not have any say in the pay which we have with every single person that we have brought onto the town. So my concerns, and I'm gonna state them again of what they are, per our requirements that we have listed for this position require such things as CPA, MBA. I don't have it sitting in front of me, but also there's the, J.C., can you explain it, what the I'm gonna mess it, GFOHS? No. What it,
It's the
finance,
It's a Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA.
GFOA Florida. GFOA for Florida.
The FGFOA. That's
What is it? GF?
the FGFOA is the Florida one.
That's it. Okay, so that's the acronym. He doesn't have, hasn't started that or in part of that process, which is an 11-step process. So my suggestion to the town manager was, I took the top of our pay scale to the entry of our pay scale. It comes out approximately $31.50 per step at a 13-step level. And my proposal was that we bring him in at the entry level. Once he finishes his MBA, he gets a $3,100 bump. Once he finishes his CPA, he gets a $3,100 bump. And every step of the certification process to be a Florida government finance certification, to get his certification, which is an 11-step process, puts at the top cap of our pay, which gives an incentive to go through the steps and get through the process.
When was the last time that we had a CPA as a finance director?
Well, the way this town was run, probably never. I can't answer that because the last I heard was our town manager was working as the finance director. And when did he leave? Levy leave?
7, I don't remember.
So are we asking for an unreasonable?
2018,
Yeah, somewhere there, 17. somewhere.
17.
Was it 2017?
Yeah, somewhere there.
I don't know.
I need everybody to grab their mics and just really get them close, because everybody's, they keep complaining to me that they're unable to hear you. I'm so sorry. But
Okay, it was
Get it
long
closer.
before
Melissa?
Ray and I were elected. So there has been, I can tell you there was one woman that was here, then there was a man that was here. I don't know either one of them. I just kind of know their name. And then we had a temp come in, which was Harry. Harry was a temp, and then we bought out his temp contract and made him the finance director. He did not have the qualifications either, but as part of his employment agreement, he was to go through this process to become a finance director. He enrolled and never did anything else after the fact, because why would you? When you're already making near the top of the pay scale, there's no incentive to move up. So,
All right, considering the fact that we've already made an offer and he's already accepted it, he's already moved on and gotten things ready, he's ready to show up here tomorrow or whatever, what kind of liability are we going to be under? I mean, is he going to get a year's pay out of us just for in a lawsuit?
here's where I'm looking at that. The town did not make the offer. The HR director, the consultant for the town, made the offer.
Our employee,
No, she's not. She's a
Who
contractor
was?
for the town.
She
She was never an employee for the town. She
She's
was
our agent.
contracted to the
Yeah,
town,
right.
which means she has her own insurance. She's her own business outside of the town. When you're a contractor, you're not an employee of the town.
So you're saying we can just blow
So-
him off and have him sue her, huh?
That can happen. Okay, listen, hold on one second. A lot of lawsuits happen in municipal government. People sue all the time. It costs a lot of money. I know, because since I've been here, I've been involved in several of them. So that happens. So we did not make that decision. Can you hear me okay? Because it's right here. All right. We didn't make the decision. We didn't make the offer. But here's the thing, and this is how I explained it to everyone that I've talked to regarding this. We have a charter, okay? We have to follow what our charter says. That's our agreement on how we run the town. What we currently have for our positions is in our job descriptions and our requirements for the positions. That's what we have, the commission we have to go off of. So the on or off. So I can't fiscally responsibly take someone who doesn't meet the qualifications of what we have listed for our town and give them anything higher up than our starting pay. You know, I understand he was making more at his previous position. Unfortunately, that's not my concern. I can't concern myself with that. I have to concern myself with what I have in front of me for the town. So what I have is what our job descriptions are and what our requirements are for the job. And then we didn't get a say in it, which we have with every single other position here. We've had this discussion, this, and this with other staff that we brought on, other directors we have brought on. So,
So when we request to get a financial, you want to redo the process and get somebody that has a CPA?
we could do several things. One, we're voting later on for a for a HR director. We can have that HR director correct our job descriptions to what the standard is across the board for, you know, other municipalities. That's an option that we can do. We can, and then go out for, you know, bid again for, you know, or go out for, to fill the position again. Right now, we have Christian, who's doing a great job in finance, and we have the contractor working up there too, getting everything in order. So our finance department isn't in a bad position at the moment.
Actually, I need somebody to get the budget going. So
Okay.
that's one thing. And may I add a few more things?
Sure.
The CPA, as far as finance directors in Broward and South and Miami-Dade County, I can't speak much for Palm Beach or North. The majority of them are not CPAs as far as finance directors. Just, that's a fact. That's, you know, you should know that. The other thing is that the job description or the ad, whatever you want to call it, it did say that a CPA is required. But then further down, it said that the commission can consider, you know, a combination of other factors in lieu of that. Okay? Ultimately, it's up to the commission to decide. If you guys want to waive something, you can waive. If you want to start from the beginning, that's fine. I would caution against that. We've got a budget that is going to be due soon.
All right, here's how I feel about it. Whether we approved it or not, we made an offer. The town made an offer. We have to honor it. The candidate made decisions, resigned based on that offer. So we can't renege on our word. And no, now, personally, I feel starting him at entry level is disrespectful. I think we should let him come in, prove himself, and if he doesn't, it's not set in stone. We can move on. But for now, I think we should honor our offer and start him off at whatever it is that we offered him.
Is that a motion, sir?
That's a
No,
motion.
we're in discussion.
Oh, well, it will be a
We're
motion.
discussing this before we move forward. All right. All right, Ray, and I hear exactly what you're saying. Again, my opinion, I cannot fiscally responsibly give someone a position that doesn't, anything over starting that doesn't match our current job descriptions online, which they may be wrong, they may be right, but that's going to be my opinion on that. You're right, he does have a year probationary period, so if he doesn't cut it, you know, we'll make a decision. We can always make that decision down the road, but our contractor made a mistake here, and you know, I don't want to get stuck paying for it. We've had several people come into positions where they spent a year that has set the town back 5, you know, and it's been very difficult with the finance department being a critical role for this town. And you know, JC.
Yes, sir.
Was the former manager Salters was certified as a finance director. She had the certifications.
I do not know her credentials.
Okay, I believe she did, because she's the one who put the 5-year budget together for the town that we've been riding off of ever since she was here. So So that was, we did have someone who did have the certification, but she was here as the town manager for approximately 5 months. All right.
This gentleman has been, what, in North Miami for like 8 years. He seemed to have a very,
Maybe even longer than that.
yeah, and seems to have a very good record with them, and their budget is probably 10 times ours. So,
The gentleman is here in the audience if anybody wants
okay,
to-
then I think that we should honor our agreement and, move forwards. And we do have an option a year from now if things don't work out or whatever to change that. But I think we need to honor our commitments, or they will look at the town in such a light that we're not trustworthy, and that we create those type of issues, making offers and then reneging on them. It's like not a good precedent to set.
And I just want to clarify, that was our contractor that made the offer, not the town. So I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to, how should I word this? Attorney?
Resolution 2022-008.
Just say appointing Roy Brown.
Appointing Roy Brown as the new finance director?
Yeah, okay.
I'll second.
I would
You need to specify the dollar amount.
At the salary that was offered.
The town manager discussed.
At the salary that was offered, $118,000.
And I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion?
Okay.
Discussion? Roll call?
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
No.
Motion passes 2-1.
All right. Resolution, this is 8.3, resolution declaring zoning in progress for medical, let me try this again. 8.3, resolution declaring zoning in progress for medical marijuana dispensaries, Town Attorney Anderson, resolution number 2022-010. Town Attorney?
Resolution number 2022-010, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, declaring zoning in progress pertaining to the amendment and development of land development regulations pertaining to medical marijuana dispensaries, medical marijuana retail centers, and medical marijuana treatment centers within the town, providing that while zoning in progress is in effect, the town shall not accept or process applications for development orders or permits, amendments to site plans or other zoning applications, whether administratively or otherwise, for medical marijuana dispensaries, medical marijuana retail centers, and medical marijuana treatment centers within the town, providing for waivers for the processing of applications and the approval of development orders or permits for medical marijuana dispensaries, medical marijuana retail centers, and medical marijuana treatment centers which have applications deemed by the town to be already in process, and providing for an effective date.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Mike Vondermeulen, Consultant Town Planner. It had come to our attention, along with town staff, that there were quite a few more inquiries about adding additional marijuana dispensary or medical marijuana dispensaries in the town. In looking at the code, it came to our attention that maybe it could use a little bit more work, reflect a little bit more information that is already in the state statutes, so that it would parallel the state statutes, especially in terms of distance separation requirements from schools, which is silent in the town code. And so we were just coming to the commission, asking for a pause to take a more serious look at this, to make sure that there's no adverse effects, that there wouldn't be a concentration of dispensaries all in one location, and as well as possible cultivation or anything else that occurs that's associated with this. So we just wanted to take a little bit more in-depth look, make sure that the codes are consistent, and in that time period, we'd just like to request that this resolution of zoning in progress be placed.
I have a question for you, because this was brought to my attention, and I believed we had a limitation of 2 for the town. Does that go, is there any state statute that has anything in place for dispensaries when they originally passed the medical marijuana? Is there a limitation within the state for that?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with a number requirement.
As far as my knowledge, we have Miguel Nunez, building official, and
Welcome.
thank you, and also now working with Mike V in planning.
Okay.
As far as my understanding, we do not have any specific numbers for medical marijuana dispensaries of any type of those facilities.
Okay.
The only knowledge that I have into that is that if we allow them in the town, they need to be regulated exactly like any other pharmacy.
Okay.
And that's the reason why we are requesting in-progress moratorium, so that way we can analyze the impact in our town, in our resources, and the location and distances separation if the commission decide in the future to continue the permits on those. However, we wanted to have that opportunity to start in them.
You just answered my follow-up question, so
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Ray, do you have any questions?
No question.
If
Thank
we
you.
have a limit on how many dispensaries we can have here, are we also putting a limit on how many normal pharmacies that we can have?
As per state statute, we need to regulate exactly the same.
I mean,
So whatever limit we put in them, pharmacies
Do you
follow.
think we should go that route? I mean, what if you want to have a pharmacy on the corner here? You can't have one. If you want a CVS or a whatever, you know. So
Unless we violate state statute, that's a different issue.
I think this just gives everyone the opportunity for them to sit down and
talk about
dig
it.
into it and figure out where we're at,
Right.
and then bring a proposal back forward to the commission.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
So we don't regulate the distance between,
There will be a lot of, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Currently, in the state statute, there is a 500-foot distance separation requirement from public and private elementary, middle, and secondary schools. So that's already
You
in the
said
state.
500 feet?
500 feet.
500 feet.
And that's already in the state statutes. So that is something or I was not aware of. So we're looking into this further. We have our GIS system that we're working on, and that will include these types of distance separation requirements that we have for other uses. So we'll add that in there. You'll be able to visually see where additional facilities could be located. And then, the possibility is that you could maybe take no action. There could be situations where you may want to go ahead and outright ban them and just leave the one that is here, or something in between. But I think a more educated presentation, a more educated approach with a recommendation from the entire team to present to you for your consideration, I think.
I completely agree
is
with you.
Something that we recommend.
Okay. You have any more questions?
No, that's fine.
thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt 8.3.
Motion to approve. 2022-010.
2022-010.
A second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. I need to take a 10-minute break, 5-minute break.
Okay.
All right, so we'll take a 5-minute break and make it a little more, we'll be back at
Now
8:35.
Okay.
All right?
I know the feel.
38 p.m. and we're back with section number 9, ordinances. First public hearing, rescinding ordinance 2022-003, property rights element, and advertise ordinance 2022-006, town planning consultant, Michael V. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Thank you.
Want me to
So I
read
don't
the-
botch it. Ordinance number 2026-006. Town attorney, can you read the ordinance by title, please?
Ordinance number 2022-006. Ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending the Town of Pembroke Park's adopted comprehensive plan as amended by adding the property rights element, adding goals, objectives, and policies pursuant to section 163.3177 Florida statutes, providing severability, rescinding and superseding ordinance 2022-003, superseding conflicting ordinances and resolutions, and providing an effective date.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Mike Bonnermuller, Consultant Town Planner. We have discussed this item several times when it first came to the commission and it was adopted. However, we followed the wrong procedures in terms of notifying the state. We're trying to rectify that now by passing this ordinance. So just to explain the process, as you, assuming you pass this ordinance on first reading, we will then send it to the state first for their comments. Once we receive their comments, then the second reading will be scheduled. So it'll be several months before you see this again for final adoption.
Okay. Well,
And to clarify, this would be first reading.
Correct. This is first reading for this ordinance.
first reading. I will open this for public comment. Is there any public comment on ordinance number 2022-006 or ordinance 2022-003? None? Close public comment. I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-006 and rescind, as the first reading, rescinding 2022-003.
Motion to approve ordinance 2022-006.
A second.
Discussion?
None.
We don't have a million questions for you this time.
Thank you.
All right. Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 10, ordinances. Second final public hearing. 10.1, proposed building standard ordinance, Chapter 5, changes and additions, building official Nunez. Ordinance number 2022-004. Town attorney, if you could read it by title.
Ordinance number 2022-004, an ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending and updating Chapter 5, buildings and building regulation of the town's code, providing for severability, for providing for inclusion in the code of ordinances, superseding conflicting ordinances and resolutions, providing an effective date.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Clerk Commissioner Hutchins. My name is Miguel Nunez. I'm the Chief Building Official for the Town of Pembroke Park. And this is the second reading for the amendments and changes that we propose to Chapter 5. Currently, there's no regulation for dust controls penalties, aside for the ones issued by the building code, posting of notices control, and fees recuperation path due unsafe structures in our town code of ordinances. Therefore, the addition of these elements will assist in the closing the gap and also synchronize with the state statutes and the building code while starting aside and neighboring properties for any dust adverse impact during construction and development, especially of the influx that we're going to be experiencing in our town.
All right.
If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
All right. I'll open it up for public comment. All right, I'll close public comment. I'll entertain a motion.
They won't be being charged for double, I mean, somebody other organization's not gonna, state organization's not gonna charge them for the same thing, right?
No, right now you have, at the building code level, you have additional fees already charged by the state, by the building code.
As far as the dust goes? As far as the dust?
Work without permits. That has nothing to do, the dust is no charges for dust control. That comes directly out of the construction sites. That's no cost for the residents, no cost for the tenants, only for the developers.
Okay.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2022-005.
Second.
Discussion.
None.
More questions? No discussion, roll call.
Motion by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, 10.2, proposed changes for the floodplain ordinance. Building official Nunez, ordinance number 2022-005. Again, this is the second and final public hearing. Town attorney, if you could read this by title.
Ordinance number 2022-005, an ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending and updating Chapter 10, Flood Prevention and Protection of the town's code, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the Code of Ordinances, superseding conflicting ordinances and resolutions, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Clerk Commissioner, Miguel Nunez, Chief Building Official, and Floodplain Administrator of the Town of Pembroke Park. As part of my duties, I'm always in contact with the State Floodplain Manager's Office and also with the State Manager's, Emergency Manager's Office. And during our conversations, some of the certain areas of the town's floodplain ordinance has been discussed and proposed with the assistance with them for compliance and synchronization to the National Flood Insurance Program and the Florida Building Code. And the results of these small changes into our Chapter 10 will allow us not only to synchronize those items, but at the same time, it will allow us that eventually in the CRS on the community rating system to have a better position and obviously obtaining a better discount in our flood insurance rates.
Okay, I will open this up for public comment.
I just have a question.
Come on up.
It's a quick one.
Introduce yourself and ask your question.
Commission, I'm Eric Morissette. I'm just want to, can you clarify a little bit how this practically will work for the citizens? I mean, there's some nice words here, but what does that cover? What is it that's improving with the flood control?
The flood controls already are in place in all our ordinances. This is just clarifying some of the conditions and synchronizing of the Florida Building Code. Right now, our flood ordinances are reflecting directly the ordinances. They're not synchronizing with the Florida Building Code, Residential Code, which is the one who affects the Residential Code, especially Chapter 322. And that's what we're doing. We just send it back to the Florida Building Code, which everybody has to apply, and in order to maintain our certification in the National Flood Insurance Program.
Okay, so this
It's a little bit very technical. I'll be more than glad to meet with you and explain entirely. I don't think we have, in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'll be able to explain the whole National Flood Insurance Program.
I'll see you.
Thank you. I know you do.
Because I've been flooded many
All right.
times. To see how it works.
Is there any more public comment from our 3 members of the public? All right. I'll close public comment. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. I believe I said
2022-005
005 already.
What's that?
I think I made a mistake the first time. So this one is 005. Ordinance 2022-005.
Oh, wait, 5. Sorry.
Previous one was 004.
My screen went out. Sorry. 5, you're right.
5, right? I have one question. I noticed that the floodplain ordinance plus 1 foot, that's for mobile homes?
That actually is for every residential property. Mobile home has additional regulations. One of the advantages is we don't require to be 36 inches to the bottom of the beam, like in certain coastal areas. Right now, we lower it, actually, like 2 years ago, from 36 inches, that was our ordinance, all the way to 20 inches.
That's good, because I was going to say none of them are going to make it.
Well, if we have kept it the same way at 36, you're going to need an elevator to go to your house.
I understand. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. 11, new business. This will be 11.1, organizational chart. Interim Police Chief Howard.
David Howard, Police Department. I was asked to put the org chart together for the commission. If you look to your left or right, you could see those are your police officers' positions. So the only addition in there is 4 part-time officers. That would be a total cost of additional $250,000 a year. I have no intention of filling them, but I do want them there just in case you've had a part-time police officer here for about 1.5 years, and they probably, in the last 7 months or so, they probably made $300. So, anyways, any questions or concerns?
So the part-timers, they just fill in when a full-timer is out, or are they always on?
Well, they'd be used for, I mean, I'd probably, if I need somebody for a special internal affairs investigation, like something like that. Or if I had a really, really good applicant and I don't have a spot at the moment, I could slide them in that part-time slot until a full-time slot came available. So we didn't lose them. Or
Questions?
That was it for me.
All right.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve 11.1.
You got a specific police organizational chart?
Police organizational.
There you go.
Second.
Any more discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, 11.2, A and B recycling, authorization to foreclose, Town Attorney Anderson.
So this is an item, it's really myself, Jocelyn's really done all the work on this, but we're finally to a point where we're ready to foreclose on several liens that are outstanding against A and B recycling. That has been an ongoing problem for the town. Brian Sherman of the law firm of Goring Sheriff has helped us with this, and he will be the person who will be leading the foreclosure litigation on this. So we would like, I think the outstanding fines, and they're still running, are $338,000 at this point. There are 4 liens for 4 different violations. The longest running violation dates back to June of 2014, and they are not in compliance with 3 out of the 4 violations. So Jocelyn and I and Miguel discussed this, and I think it's time to move forward on foreclosure with A&B recycling. We're asking the commission to.
Okay, and I want to just Give a little more info here. Our Public Works Director went out and cleaned up the right-of-way. Can I borrow you real quick? Could you just explain to the commission what you guys did out there?
Yes, sir. Robert Clark, Public Works Director and Public Services Director, sorry. So I had been in communication with the Chief Code Enforcement Officer, Jocelyn Ramirez, about the state of the street there on 31st, and we found it to be deplorable. She brought it to my attention, we discussed it, and we effectively approached what we believe to be the owner of A&B Recycling, and brought it to his attention that this is the town's right-of-way, that there are a couple appliances within the right-of-way that have been damaged. We cannot point directly at who damaged it, but it looks like it's a result of the way that the right-of-way have been kept. So we made contact, we discussed it, and he assured us that he would do something to repair it. We gave him a timeline, and when we gave him the timeline, we revisited him. We communicated with him that this has to be cleaned up within a certain amount of time. We received the authority through the town attorney as well as the building official, and revisited and had a conversation and made it clear that on this day at this time we would show up and we would clean up the right-of-way. When we came to show up on that day and that time, the right-of-way was clear. So we thought that we had resolved the issue of the right-of-way. Unfortunately, the town manager brought to my attention that it was back in disarray. So at that point, the chief building code officer and I came to the conclusion that that something had to be done. I reached out to town legal as well as the manager and said that I'd like to bring this up and make the necessary moves to clean up the right-of-way. I coordinated with Broward Sheriff's Department. Thank you, Lieutenant Charles and Chief, and they supported us, and then we executed a raid and cleaned it up, and that was it. I've been through there a couple of times. Evidently, that wasn't enough. So I'm going to coordinate with Chief Code Enforcement Officer Ramirez again, and we'll go back out there and we'll clean it up again. And we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that this problem goes away one way or another.
I was actually just going to bring that to your attention. The day they did clean it up, I happened to drive by that afternoon and took a photo of it. It was cleaned up. The last 3 days I have driven by the property with a couple of our officers, giving them a tour of the town, and it's all back out there again. So I was going to talk to you about it, but tonight's the perfect time to discuss it. So even though it's been cleaned, it's now back out in the right-of-way again. So you have any questions?
Well, it seems like they're a habitual offender, and they're going to keep that way, so we need to take action. So,
Attorney Anderson, what happens when we foreclose? Are we foreclosing on the business itself or the physical building?
Property.
Just the property? Yeah.
Well, the property and the business, I mean, the land. He owns the land, so it's a foreclosure on the land. And it's quite a hefty sum there. So typically what happens is the minute you file a foreclosure, they want to come in and solve whatever the problem is. So he may come in and say, let me solve the problem. And it really sort of is the last stop when you can't get compliance with the code enforcement measures. And the ultimate conclusion could be that we end up owning the property. It's a toss-up. It depends on what the reaction of the property owners can be. I'd also like to point out that in addition to the public services being on top of this, that the building official cited them for unsafe structures, and it's going through the unsafe structures process. So it's really a three-pronged approach, and foreclosure being one of the approaches, unsafe as well, and then keeping on the right-of-way issue. So we're really trying to solve this as a team and get some improvement, because nothing that we do out there seems to matter. This will get his attention, because ultimately he could lose his property.
All right, thank you.
Okay, can we get through this? Okay, you know what? Let's take a 5-minute break.
Sure.
We'll return at
9:05.
9:05.
We're on. Mayor, we're on.
Okay, we're back. It is 9:05 p.m. So I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 20. Oh wait, sorry. A&B Recycling authorization to foreclose.
I'll make a motion to approve the AB Recycling authorization foreclosure.
I second.
Discussion?
Nope.
All right, roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Oh, motion passes.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. 11.3, award selection and recommendation for ITB 2022-05 CDBG 47th year Preserve Safety Improvements Project Award, Public Services Director Clark.
Robert Clark, Public Services Director. Thank you very much, Vice Mayor DeVille, Mayor Jacobs, and Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. This is pretty much self-explanatory. We've been working on this project for quite some time. Essentially, what we are asking for is the approval of the CDBG project vendor that we have here. We had one packet show up, and we would like to have that budget approved to move forward.
Okay. Let me.
Are those the same LED lighting? That's in the main part?
Yes, over in the park, yes, sir. It's a lighting improvement project.
All right. Hold on. Let me pull it back up here. Town CBTG. All right, so the final town project cost is $118,715. The CBDG grant is $65,809, and the town is contributing $52,509. So you the award a big package of $99,960.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I will entertain a motion to approve award selection and recommendation. Oh, actually, I got to ask what your recommendation is. Which company?
It was only one company, sir, and it's Imperial
The
Electric.
Imperial?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'd like to make the request of a 30% kicker, just in case we have supply issues.
Okay, so not to exceed 130,000.
Not to exceed 129,960.
Okay. All right, so I will entertain a motion to use Imperial for the award selection recommendation for the ITB 2022-005 CDBG 47th year Preserve Safety Improvements Award at a cost of not to exceed $129,960.
Right, motion to approve Section Imperial for the award selection and recommendation for ITB 22-05 CDBG 47th year, not to exceed 129,000.
I'll second.
Discussion?
No?
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Right. 11.4, award selection and recommendation for the ITB 2022-007 Southwest 32nd Street asphalt replacement. Public Services Director Clark.
Thank you very much. Robert Clark, Public Services Director. We're working on piece by piece, section by section of the town to alleviate nuisance areas when it comes to potholes. We just can't keep up with it in that particular spot. It just looks like a war zone over there. So we have solicited, and we're able to get the contract down to the $30,228. And here again, I'd like to ask for the commission's approval, plus a 30% kicker for cost overruns, so on.
Hold on, let me get a total for you.
Should be actually 39, not to exceed 40, somewhere in
How about not to exceed 40,000?
there. Yes, sir.
Is this a budgeted item? Do we have the funds for this?
We should have the funds, but it was not a budgeted item that I remember or recall, sir.
Okay.
It was not a budgeted item, but there's the funds in the streets and parkways.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Perfect. Okay, so I will
Wait, hold on a second. JC, do we have the funds to just do that area? That way we just know we're done with that particular section?
I wouldn't know how much the whole area would cost. Right now, the 32nd Street or 32nd
I know 33rd is almost just as bad.
It's almost just as bad. Approve this, if you don't mind, so we can get this going, and then we can get a price to see how much it would be to add that.
Gotcha.
But before we do that, this is a section that's still on septic, right?
I'm unaware. I don't think that they're on septic.
Are they on septic or sewer right there on 32nd?
They should be on sewer.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just want to make sure we don't have to go back, tear it back up and. to fix it.
I'm unaware, so
Okay.
I can't answer that question because I don't know, but I can find out very quickly.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe they're on sewer, because in one of those townhouses, somebody had put it was a clean out for the sewer,
yep,
and it was
I
like
remember.
this tall.
Yep.
So I believe they're on sewer.
Okay.
We have a force main system over there which lends to that, but I haven't seen the plans for that particular community, so.
Okay. All right, so I will entertain a motion to approve award and selection recommendation on, from the Public Services Director for ITB 2207 Southwest 32nd Street asphalt replacement.
Motion to approve award selection and recommendation for ITB 22-07 Southwest 32nd Street.
2207. There's another one down below it.
And Vice Mayor, we'll get the price to add the 33rd.
If we could do them all at the same time, about that area for now.
Yep.
It's 11.4, sir.
11.4. Need a second, we can go to discussion on it still.
Second Street, right?
11.4.
11.4. If you're looking through all this stuff, it will be near impossible to find that way. Just go back to the beginning and click on 11.4, click on the blue line. Back to the agenda. Marlon, thank you.
The document I was looking at said 32nd Ave, but it said 11.6 or something.
11.5. Oh, no, sorry, 11.4, 11.4. Waiting on a second from you.
Yes, I second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On that motion, did you put in a not to exceed?
Yes. Oh, actually, I don't remember.
Did we get a not to exceed?
Yes.
I have it as an ITB 2207, not to exceed 40,000.
Perfect, okay. Just wanted to make sure that was there, so that buffer was there for you.
Thank you.
Okay. To 11.5, lift station station 15 replacement, change order number 1, Public Service Director.
We're requesting from CNI, who was awarded the contract, $19,800 for a part of the requirements to continue moving forward with the construction of lift station number 15.
What is this part?
So, so basic background, pretty much this project started prior to my assuming this position, and against the recommendation of the consulting engineering firm, which was Craig Smith, that we abandoned that location, but I think it was brought before the commission so that we would buy the former town engineer, that we rebuild and put a lift station there to accommodate new construction. And so it was designed by the town engineer.
Right.
And they were moving forward with the project. And unfortunately, it ran into a snag through permitting and not following procedure, and we're here.
Okay. I remember this item very well. So we got it budgeted, or it's not budgeted, but in the funds for the Public Works Department.
Yes, sir. We have the money for it in the Stormwater Sewer Fund.
Okay. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 11.5 lift station 15 replacement.
I'll second.
For discussion, do you need a not to exceed on this, or are we good on this price? Keep it at the price.
I have a lot to say about this that I'm not going to say, sir. But
Okay.
yes, let's stay at 19.8, and that's that.
Okay.
If we can't get it done for that, we need to go in another direction.
Okay. We'll meet.
Yes.
Talk about it. All right. So let's roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
11.6, HR Director. I'm going to go with Town Manager, minutes.
As you have all interviewed, there are two final candidates for HR Director. We have Babette Friedman and Lenore Rosario. And it's, again, up to you to decide. The salary range that was established for that position, remember, it's a director position. It ranges between $90,000 and $135,000. One thing that was pointed out to me by one of our neighbor next door, Hallandale Beach, they do have an assistant director position open, and that starts at $100,000 to I think $35,000 or something like that. So we're competing with our neighbors and other cities. So if you guys are satisfied with either of the candidates, in my recommendation, they were both very good candidates, both of them very qualified.
Hold on one second. Do you have, without putting it over the dice, do you have both names that you can give to the commissioners? I have them in I can pull them up right now.
I have mine.
You have yours? Do you know both names of both people you interviewed? Okay, I'm gonna pull it up on my email so you have both their names.
I just said it a little while ago. I mean,
Oh, you said their names?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
Babette Friedman and Rosario, Lenore Rosario.
Okay, so write down, I guess, spot 1 and 2. Should we do it that way, the way we've done them all in the past?
Since there's only two, you guys can make a motion, and with one of them, and
Okay, hold on, let me pull up my notes real quick.
Are they both okay with the salary ranges?
that's the other thing. I spoke with both of them, and both of them are requesting 115. So that's the other thing you'd have to consider.
Should we keep looking?
It is up to you. Be up to you if you want to look, if you want to change from a director to a manager, to an HR manager, if you want to look for a company, it's completely up to you.
So so everyone has the history here, we moved this to a director position. Ray and I were part of that vote a while back, moving it to a director position. That way under the new structure for the town, that the HR does work with the manager and the commission, because we oversee directors, he oversees staff. That way it works well with the commission form of government.
This is in-house, right?
Yes, this is in-house. So we have a full-time HR personnel here. I am trying to give me just a second, I'm trying to pull something up here.
JC, what was the lady's name?
One of them is
JC, what was the lady's name?
one of them is Babette Friedman, and
That's what it was, yeah.
there was Lenore Rosario.
All right. I interviewed both candidates. I think both candidates are good. I personally liked, I'm sorry, what was her last name? Friedman? Friedman. I like Miss Friedman. I thought she would be a pretty good asset to the town, especially with her history in writing policy and procedure for the town. So that's one area we really need to keep up to date on.
And labor negotiations as well.
What's that?
And labor negotiations.
Yeah, and labor negotiations as well. So
She was actually the one I was impressed with also, so.
yeah. So I guess I'll entertain.
Want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, I said.
Ray, do you have any input?
What? You want
I
to
was
put the
happy
salary
with both
in?
also, so I was fine with that or.
How about we 115 is what you said on the salary?
That's what I spoke with them
We'll do
about.
the, I'll entertain a motion with a salary of 115 for HR Director, Ms. Friedman.
I'll make a motion that we go for Ms. Friedman at the 115 rate that we given her.
My second.
Okay, any
Offered her,
discussion?
I'm sorry.
Ray?
Oh, they were both good.
Bill, any discussion?
No. No.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille to hire Ms. Friedman at 115. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Full disclosure, I know her, just so
Okay.
you know. Worked with her as well in North Miami.
Got a strike against her, or is that?
I didn't even know she was on here, so had no idea.
Only kidding.
Who hasn't worked in North Miami?
Who doesn't know me? It's more like it.
You haven't? All right, good.
Well,
There's
the
one.
I never worked with her either.
Who never worked in North Miami?
No.
I got count for you already, so.
I,
All right. Okay. In that, now that we have a HR director, can you proceed back forward with the,
The assistant?
the assistant position and get that filled?
Okay.
Just so you know, it's the commissioner's assistant position. She'll be an assistant to all of us, our PIO, and she'll be doing our newsletter, our social media, and the events for the town.
Doing research too?
What's that?
Research also? Did you do research also, that type of stuff?
Yeah, she's our assistant, so, we're going forward because Miss Joy Smith, we are overwhelming, and, cause
Joy
we.
Smith?
Joy Brown.
Or, sorry, Joy Brown. Oh, my goodness.
I was wondering.
You see, you know I was talking to her earlier, so.
Oh, she got married.
Joy Brown, so that way she's got one area to work. We'll take it outside later, you and me, all right? You see, she's waving the finger, too.
Can you ask Charlene also? I like her. She might.
Yeah, absolutely, I can ask her as well. The other thing I wanted to mention about the HR person, I will have to, obviously, she's gonna have to let her employer know. So I'll see when she can start as well, and I'll report that
Okay,
back to you.
just send that in email to all of us.
Absolutely.
All right. 16, I'm gonna take a point of privilege here, because we missed something I'm putting on. It's going to be 11.7. This will be with JC for premium pay. It's regarding our employees that worked outside, our outside employees during COVID. I'll let JC take a moment to explain.
Under the ARPA funds guidelines, one of the things that the funds can be used for, and the mayor and I had a discussion about this, I don't know, a few weeks back, is that you can use it for essential workers, basically workers that, I think the term they use is face-to-face employees, or public-facing employees where they're outside, they're essential workers. If they didn't have the opportunity, if we shut down town hall, to stay home. So they came up with premium pay, and it allows us to give them a one-time reward for being there, kind of like hazard pay. A lot of police officers get this in cities that have police departments and public works. They are specifically mentioned in that ARPA guidelines. And so the mayor wanted to do something. As far as how much, that's a calculation that we have to do. There's a calculation. It depends on the salary and stuff. But I know the mayor had suggested, and I'm in full support of it. I believe we had six public works guys that were here during COVID, that are still here, that would be entitled to this.
This doesn't come out of the town budget, but it does come out of the ARPA funds. I brought it to the manager's attention that these guys worked all through COVID. They didn't get the opportunity the other employees had. So we found that we could use premium pay to give them a bit. But again, as the manager stated, it comes with the calculation. So this will be.
We'll have to do the calculation, and I'll bring it up at a future meeting if you want me to bring it up at the next meeting.
Let's bring it up at the next meeting, not the workshop, but the next commission
Okay.
meeting as a line item. That way it can be there, but I wanted the commissioners to be aware. and something that we can give forward. That way the town manager can come up with the calculation on the
Right.
exact amount, and we go and approve that amount on the next commission meeting.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You need direction, not a motion on this.
No, I'm
right?
going to bring it at the next meeting.
Okay. So, Marlon, a line item for the next commission meeting?
You don't want to put it for the workshop for discussion?
No, we'll just move it over. There's
Okay.
no need.
Hey, what about the employees who've left since then? Do they get it too?
I have to double check the rules on that. But right now, we were only planning for 6, but I'd have to double check if they would be entitled to it. I think there may have been 2 or 3 that have left since then. I will.
All right. Old business, I'm going to move 12.1 also to the next commission meeting. August commission meeting. And then 13, discussion. Police Department update and grant update. That would be me and Chief Howard. So, wanted to take a moment and let you guys know where we're at. As you see, we have some new faces in the police department. We're to the point now with the department that we have to secure the doors on the police department on the 3rd floor. We'll be bringing that. We'll be bringing that forward for the lock system. I met with the manager earlier today, discussed what we need to do to get the doors secured upstairs. It will be a workshop item for the securement, but we have anyone going in and out of the police department will have to be CJIS certified, fingerprinted, all that, unless you're escorted in and out. So that goes for town staff, everyone going in and out of the police department now. We've hit the security level where we've had to take it to the next stop. I'm going to have them, JC, if you can get with the chief and get the door locks for mechanical for right now until we can get the system approved that you and I discussed earlier. We'll be discussing the electronic system that's going into the police department on our build out, but we're going to use it on the 3rd floor prior to. So that works with the IDs going in and out of the police department.
I'll meet with the chief tomorrow.
Okay. And you want to give them a grant update where we're at on grants?
The only grant we received so far is the fibers grant, and of course we got some money from the firemen. But the fire chief left, you didn't hear that. So
And I'll add that
we have a lot of outstanding stuff yet. It won't come in until September.
Okay, and we do have an officer working on grants for the police department as well, writing those. I know he's keeping busy too.
Yep.
So, things are starting to shape up upstairs, and it's all starting to come about. I know you two had an opportunity to meet this week or last week recently.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are up to speed on what's going on in the police department, but I wasn't aware, so I put it on here to make sure you guys knew what's going on. But again, we're to the point that we have to lock down the department, and the
Yes.
access
It's
is
gotta be
for-
secure, yeah.
for them. So it's now a secured area. And Rob, for emergency purposes, we'll have to work a situation out with you for the 3rd floor. So you still have access. So the chief's gonna put you through the CJIS system as well. So in case there's a mechanical, some kind of emergency on the 3rd floor that you guys need access to. So
Full staff? Full staff?
I'm not sure. You're just gonna.
We can discuss it.
Okay, something you guys can work out and figure out a solution to. As we proceed, we still have a build out downstairs. We have a temporary office on the 3rd floor. It's going to be a little confusing for a while, so hopefully we can all work it out and make sure it goes forward. I don't think. I will tell you, I'm getting text messages and pictures from business owners and residents seeing our cars in town. So these guys have been extra visible around town, and people are seeing them. So they're very happy to see the new cars and see the officers. Even going back and forth across town, just seeing them out there has kind of been a big point for the town. So I don't have anything else. Do you?
Nope.
All right. Thank you. 14, attorney reports.
I am going to be out of town on July 27th. I don't like, it's the first meeting I've ever missed, but we're having a memorial service for my mother in North Carolina, and a lot of people are coming from different parts of the country, so I couldn't move it. Jake Horowitz is going to be sitting in during the workshop in my seat.
Okay. Town manager reports.
Yeah, Mayor and Vice Mayor, Commissioner. The ICMA conference opened up registration. I had temporarily reserved it, but I wanted to get your blessing to attend the ICMA. This will give me the second half of credits that I need to maintain my credential manager status.
I guess direction to go forward or direction to approve?
Yeah, allow me,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
consensus.
You're fine with that. It's part of the requirement for the town.
And another item that may come before you, it came up recently, was one of the construction sites, they have some garbage containers from another, from S&S. And Waste Management recently noticed that, and they contacted code enforcement. They're like, hey, they have to use us. So I started digging into that a little bit, and in our agreement with Waste Management from 2016, they have a franchise agreement, so they have exclusive use or exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't really, it says that the town will do its best to enforce that. Not really a lot of penalties, but I did wanted to mention that to you, because we may have to change the code a little bit, because the code is very silent on it. So I just want to let you know that's something that we're working on, and you may see that in the future.
Okay.
You wouldn't think that would apply to a private contractor that's doing a job.
But it does. They have the exclusive right to provide solid waste service for the town, for everybody, and it includes construction debris. The code is silent on it, so when that contract came up and was executed in 16 or whenever it was, the code was never changed or amended to reflect it. So
yeah, we need to look at that.
When does that contract come back up?
it was renewed 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's five.
Yeah, but I think it's got like I think it's 2020.
It's been a while since I read it, so
2025 or something like that.
Okay. All right. Oh, anything else?
That's it.
All right. Commissioner comments, Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I did take a tour upstairs, third floor, police department, and I am very impressed with what I saw. The technology, pretty much the organization, it was organized, they had deadlines to meet, and everything was on point. So I think we're making progress, and I look forward to us. I also get those comments too from residents who have seen the cars, and they're all excited about it. So that's a wonderful thing.
Anything else?
Yeah, that was it. Making progress.
All right. For me, I would like to take a moment to thank Joy Brown for a very successful food drive we had. Unfortunately, we were a little short on food, and we ran out very quickly. This was probably one of the shortest food drives we've done. But from the time I showed up in the morning, at 7 a.m., we already had people lined up handful, but we had people lined up. The Everbridge system, did we ever get everybody loaded into the Everbridge system?
I think we have about over 1,100 people in there, but some of those numbers are no longer good. So now that we have a new list, and I was going to mention that to you as well, we can continue updating that. But really what needs to happen is the resident needs to go on and opt in to receive those.
I make sure it's on the flyers, and I tell everybody meet to register, but you can only lead a horse to water, so to speak.
True.
So you can only do so much. I've tried and tried.
And we put it in the newsletter, and it's right on the website, so.
All right. We do have our food drive again on the August 13th. We'll be doing it again, same time, same location. Kind of jumping ahead because I know that's in my announcements. Yep, that's in my announcements. But we have volunteers. I want to invite all town staff to volunteer. It is not a paid position. This is not like during COVID where we got reimbursement. So any town staff that would like to come and volunteer and work, we always have the few public works director. We have public works guys that are there that are actually working. So those are the only paid positions during the time. But I will speak out for the building department, as they always provide people. Lucy, I don't think, has missed one food drive. Jocelyn was there. Jeffrey Lewis was there. We always have support from them that come to the drives, and it's nice. You're welcome to see them and step out. But I'd like to invite all staff to come and help out. It's a couple hours, even if they're only there for like an hour or two, like Jocelyn was this time. Just to have people there as representing the town. I think it's nice to have everyone out that wants to come out. Ken, it's on you to volunteer.
There too.
What's that?
The police department was out there
Yep,
too.
the police department was there, and yeah, that was nice. People made a lot of comments about Mark standing out front with his patrol car. So they saw him. He really stuck out. So we did have BSO here as well. They have their sign up for us. It's still up there, Chief?
No, we took it down, sir.
Took it down? Okay, we'll put it up beforehand again.
Yes.
All right, I'll have Joy reach out to you for that. So, all I have, let's go to announcements.
Mayor, can I, one more thanks, one more thank you. I haven't sent it to you guys yet, but late this afternoon, Lisa Cannon, the new, the code enforcement officer that's overseeing BTRs, completed that list that you've been requesting for some time. It's finished.
December of 2000.
It's finished. She sent it out. She did a great job. I'm going to send it out to all of you. So you guys will have a list of every business with phone number, address, email address.
This is a current list, by the way. It will change, just so you know, as businesses come in and out of the town. It's got all the business names, addresses, the owners.
I have a list, but it's not updated.
No, this is an updated list.
But she needs to be acknowledged. She did a great job.
Thank you, Lisa. I know you're not here. Miguel? That's a copy of it? Perfect. So this list is on an Excel. The town manager will email all of us, so we all have a copy of it as well. And please include Joy on that list, so
Sure.
she gets a copy of
Yeah,
it
of
as
course.
well. 17.1, we have a special magistrate hearing Wednesday, July 20th, 2022 at 9 a.m. We have a charter review committee meeting Monday, July 25th at 2022 at 6 p.m. Are you going to be here for that, Melissa? I don't know what day you're leaving on. Okay. Workshop commission meeting Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. We'll have a back-to-school event that will be Saturday, August 6th, 2022 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have a food drive August 13th, 2022 from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. till we run out of food, and that will be over at the park. I don't think there's anything else, so everyone's favorite part, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Time's 9:44 PM. Adjourn.